All right. Always takes a couple of seconds. Just waiting for the actual thing to pop up. There we go. Should already be working. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. I assume you all can hear me. Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another live stream. So just to start things off right off the bat, if I sound a little insane or tired, I just woke up. I had a very long day, had a lot of stuff to do. I tried to tire myself out on purpose, kind of, if you want to say that, because I was like, okay, let me get a lot of stuff done today, and I did too much. Got back into the house, fell into the bed. I don't know. I have no idea how even long I slept. And then all I knew is I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm going to live stream. And we had an issue with YouTube yesterday where they just weren't putting out the information that I was alive, that I was making videos, and nobody was getting any notifications. So I thought I'd tweet, Facebook, Patreon, the word out that I would be live streaming. I think it's working. I see a lot of people saying hello. Hello, everybody. Hello from Queens, New York. TMI, when is BitConnect coming back? I think in about a week. I was thinking about relaunching it. Same exact thing, nothing different. Same as it was before. Good morning, man. Good morning. Where are you? Well, at least here it's nighttime. I'm listening until I board my flight. That's insane. I hope I can help you pass the time. Thank you very much, Chris Moretta, for your donation. Hit the likes, not financial advice. Thank you very much. And it needs to be reiterated constantly. Hi from Northern Ireland. Azores Islands. That sounds fancy. Hello from India, Ohio, Poland, Florida, Rotterdam in the Netherlands, Ireland, South Florida. Hello, everybody. Hello, London. Hello, San Diego, Miami, Norway, SoCal, Germany, New Jersey, Sweden. Hello from PA, London, UK, Providence, Rhode Island, Barbados. My goodness, Dubai, United States, Vienna is like flying by. Canada, Portugal, Fishers Island, Dallas, Toronto, Georgia, Bracken, Toronto, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Belgium, ATL, Brooklyn, Dallas, Lithuania, Slovakia, Romania, Earth, Colombia, Northern Ireland, India, the moon, Algeria, Holland. You guys are just messing with me now. I'm trying to actually keep up, and it's like 1,000 things a minute. My goodness. Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another video. I hope you're all doing well, and as always, that you are all having a great day. You guys tripped me up on that one. I was trying to read so fast, and so many of the words were flying by. There's a lot of stuff. So the things that we're going to be talking about today, except for the very first thing, which is kind of like the brand new news that we have, is stuff that's been happening in the cryptocurrency space. I thought about making their own videos for these topics, but I was like, I'm going to throw them into a live stream because I like to have discussions about things like this. I obviously always have my own views on these things, but there's, how do I say it? It's certain things that I think aren't being spoken about per se in the cryptocurrency space, but I think that we need to kind of at least have a slight discussion. Thank you very much, Keshav, for your donation. TMI, the butt kicker, TMI for crypto president. Thank you very much for your comment and your donation. I do appreciate it. I guess the first thing that I really wanted to kind of jump into was something that I think is surprising a lot of people. It's the fact that the cryptocurrency prices have not dropped. Even after the entire ETF fiasco that we had yesterday. For those who aren't aware, may have missed the other videos because of YouTube not sending out notifications. The CBOE, the people who were trying to launch the Van Eck / Solid X physically backed Bitcoin ETF, have withdrawn their proposal, pretty much meaning they have said, no, we're not going to do it right now. No one knows exactly when or if they're going to put back a proposal on the table. Could take a couple of months. I think they may not even do it this year unless something completely dramatic ends up changing in the cryptocurrency markets or in the way that the SEC kind of views crypto. But I said yesterday in another video, I said I thought it was I assumed because every single time that we had gotten to the point whenever a Bitcoin futures contract was getting to the end of its stint time, they usually lasted for a couple of months, we would see Bitcoin's price kind of reflect it, usually going up towards the end of the futures contracts. And every single time that we had gotten news in some sort of way that we were going to maybe have a Bitcoin ETF, or that we were nearing like the actual date when the SEC had to finally say something, we would see prices going up in anticipation of this happening. And every single time over the past, not even focusing on the last 4 years, let's say the last year, when we got to know, prices would kind of go down. And I'm about 3% fearful still at this moment of prices potentially maybe still going down. I don't know. Thank you very much, Shay Kunst, for your donation. I do appreciate it. To be fair, there are other ETF proposals that are still out there. However, this was kind of the one that everyone was kind of gunning for. Every single 90% or so of the analysts out there in the cryptocurrency space, when they would talk about the ETF proposal that was supposed to happen, it was always the one that was supposed to happen in February. This one has now been pulled back and apparently is not going to happen at all. So this kind of leaves a very huge question mark over the cryptocurrency space, at least over my head, because we had, 13 months where this was seen as the thing, the catalyst that was going to move the cryptocurrency prices up. And when it's no longer there, what kind of happens to the market? So I just wanted to kind of, I guess, maybe briefly touch on this, simply because it was one of the most important things in the cryptocurrency space. I said for a very long time, I never thought that we actually needed an ETF. I didn't think that an ETF was something that the cryptocurrency space desired in its entirety. Like, it was usually something for institutional investors who were getting into the space, that they needed things that they had before in traditional finance, that would allow them to kind of not equate crypto with traditional markets, but it was something that they would be comfortable enough getting into. They knew what an ETF was, and the futures market was, and therefore, if they had the Bitcoin name tied to the front of it, they'd go, I know what this is, I can get into it, and I can deal in Bitcoin, etc., back and forth. Now that's not happening. I'm almost certain, at least in my own opinion, the other ones, and I don't know the other, like the major proposals that are out there for the other ETFs, I'm going to assume that they're probably not going to make it through. Maybe the other one that was just proposed a couple of days ago maybe has a shot. The one where they're talking about it's going to be US dollars, US bonds, and Bitcoin equally split amongst the ETF. Don't hold your breath for that one either. And I said this months ago, I said, don't even hold your breath for any ETF. Like I said, I didn't expect for it to kind of go through this situation where they completely pulled it back. But the news is, where do we go from here? Because Bitcoin apparently is showing, what's the word? I guess the word can be resistance. It's showing a bottom at around $3,000 to $3,100. Even $3,500 is holding on very, very strong. And it appears that we're getting to the point where, once again, you either can only go up or go down. And we're going to have one of those really hard slams down, or we're going to have a shoot up. And no one really knows what is going to happen. Reading some of the comments, they were probably paid to withdraw. Yeah, something has to have happened. I can't imagine exactly what it must have been. They've been gunning for this for quite a long amount of time, and I think that even something as, I want to say as simple as the government shutdown, air quote simple, the government shutdown, and also, the SEC not being able to properly manage it, I feel like that it comes down to them not wanting another rejection, or someone maybe told them behind the scenes, hey, this is definitely not going to happen because of the government shutdown. Thank you very much, Adept of Truth, for your donation. It says, TMI, what do you think will happen when all the OTC values are taken into consideration for circulating crypto prices? That's probably something that sits in the back of my head. And we're going to get we're going to kind of touch on that, maybe even 0.5%, but I guess I'll talk about it right now. That's a very good question, because we see so many places first of all, thank you, Bugsy, for your donation. Bugsy2379. Today's my 40th birthday. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Everyone say happy birthday in the comment section. Let's spread some digital love. How do I say this? It's a very weird situation, because a lot of what's happening on the over-the-counter markets isn't really touching our eyes. We know that the cryptocurrency exchanges themselves are actually seeing, thank you very much, Jonathan Kraus, for your donation. It's not financial advice. That's not financial advice. Pretty much. That's how it works. I'm waiting for a moment, and this is why the Binance news that we had earlier, I think, is slightly significant, because we had the indication from the Binance team, and I, as I was going through it, I don't know if it was just me or if it was maybe the way that I was reading it. It kind of implied that the trade would be going. It said no need to actually create a new account. It would go directly through your personal account that you had on Binance, and I thought that was like, okay, if it's happening through your personal account on Binance, logically, unless I missed something, it's going to show up on their actual system as a large trade. I don't know. It's kind of weird, because I think if we had proper clarification as to exactly through the entirety of 2018, I don't have all the exact numbers, obviously, but if you guys remember, and gals out there, remember the amount of news that we had from OTC counters that were opening, that were doing like amazing trades, and even by the end of 2018 who were like, oh my gosh, we made so much money, and talking about exactly how much the over-the-counter market had completely exploded. They were talking about billions of dollars, and that's billions with a B. So one can only assume, someone was asking before, like, what do people do with this these over-the-counter trades? You typically do them 99% of the time so that the volume isn't reflected on the actual cryptocurrency exchanges themselves, because if people saw that someone out there was buying $10 million worth of Bitcoin at one time, especially on a cryptocurrency exchange, we would see these huge spikes start going up, especially if it was happening over and over every single day. That is assuming that these are happening every day. One can only assume, but the idea is you buy over the counter so that it's not reflected on these exchanges. None of these price bumps happen. And should you decide, 2-3 months later, whatever, that you want to buy $10 million more, it's also not reflected on these exchanges. But part of the issue is that I'm so curious to figure out exactly how much of this is actually happening behind the scenes. I think if we had, and I don't know if this is ever going to happen, because a lot of these are private transactions. They're not stuff that's happening for our eyes. But it kind of, it's frustrating, because we know that on blockchains we can see these transactions happening, but a lot of times if you see a transaction for someone that's buying 3,000 Bitcoin, you can't exactly match it to an over-the-counter trading thing that's happening at the exact same time from something that's happening on Coinbase. And it leads you to a situation where just a lot of speculation flowing back and forth. Like, is it someone who owed someone else $10 million? Is it someone who was simply transferring 3,000 Bitcoin to their friend because they lost a bet, which some of these things do happen. We heard last year that they had that $1 million EOS bet, which is kind of insane. Thank you very much, Louis Friel, for your donation. Thanks for all that you do. I try my best. Just a normal person trying to live my life in the crypto space. But yeah, as of now, the way that it stands, unless something dramatic changes, it appears that all these over-the-counter trades are never going to hit our eyes. I think the only way that we'd be able to potentially figure out exactly how much money is flowing around out there is, I told you guys before, there are people who diligently try to, monitor these, people. There are tons of people who monitor blockchains, and there are tons of people who also monitor the transactions that happen on cryptocurrency exchanges. They may not be able to do it as well as we would like to, simply because they don't have the full order books. But you can see when people are doing wash trading, when they're doing spoof trading, when someone's putting in a buy or sell order for 5,000 Bitcoin when they don't actually have the money themselves, and when they may not have the intention of doing this, you can cause the prices to kind of swing back and forth. So there are people who definitely do look after this. Thank you very much, Andrew Wolfenden. And I will answer your question in one moment, I promise. To kind of finish this off, we know that there are people looking out there. And I think if we had people who were diligently looking at all the numbers, because typically you can kind of see how much is out there at any given time on a buy or sell order, it's very difficult. And I don't think we're ever going to get proper clarification on this. But I think at some point, in my opinion, when we do have, if in the future, have a proper bull run in the cryptocurrency market, we're going to realize that there's a lot less flowing around on cryptocurrency exchanges. But I think that'll take some time, and we need a proper bull market to be able to assess just how few that there actually are out there, because this will, the less that there are on cryptocurrency exchanges, the quicker that prices will actually move up. So it could just all be coordinated in some sort of way to also push prices up, and they just make sure that they're taking up as much cryptocurrencies as they possibly can right now. To your question, Andrew, it says, hi, would you buy BTC or XRP now if you had 10,000? I assume that's US dollars. not financial advice. 2, this is not financial advice. I'm going to use this as like a what's that thing called? Like fantasy football or something like that. Like the, the fantasy baseball teams. If I had 10K right now, would I put it into Bitcoin or XRP? My logical answer as to what I would do in the real world is I would probably split it 50-50. I told you guys before, all roads to me are leading to a world where Bitcoin and XRP, simply because XRP has, you can't have over 200 partnerships and everything else going on and not succeed. That's not to say that they will completely succeed, and no one knows the future. However, it's fairly clear to me that these two coins are going to do very well in the future, at least according to me. I would split them 50-50. In a world where, I don't know, I can't even give another proper scenario. I want to say from an investor standpoint, as far as like what I think will make more money in the short term, meaning like year, it would probably be XRP. As far as we've seen before in the past, altcoins tend to outperform Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up by 15% in one day. Altcoins will go up around 27% because the hype is definitely real in the cryptocurrency space. So you would probably, not financial advice, make a bit more money from putting your money into XRP. But as of right now, I mean logically, I would definitely split it completely in half. Someone said, why Kin? Because I think the price is very depressed right now. The Kin team, who is made by Kick, they've announced that they are creating at least anywhere between 25 to 50 different apps that are going to be using the token. You would be hard pressed to find many other cryptocurrency projects out there right now. And I don't mean people accepting them as money. I mean like actual dApps or apps that are going to be using specific cryptocurrencies. Like there aren't 30 apps that have been made for Litecoin that are going to be using Litecoin exclusively. It clearly tells me, in my opinion, that because the price is so low right now, that we're probably going to see a significant price jump in Kin, especially as it's being used by more people and especially on the actual Kick app. Therefore, one can assume that we will probably get to 1 cent with Kin, 1 decimal place from where we were before. And like I said, just to clarify, I'm not expecting a $1 Kin. I'm expecting like a 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 cents Kin. And then at that point, I'd be kind of happy. Someone said, is Bitcoin going to 1,000? Left to be seen. No one thought Bitcoin would... People, when Bitcoin was 19,000, no one thought Bitcoin was going this low. That was not a possibility in anyone's mind. Oh my gosh. Working hard to buy Cardano with my paychecks. Target is 100 million. Oh my gosh, ADA. That's an enormous amount. Cardano in top 10 now. I don't doubt it. Plenty of time to buy. Kin is a sleeping giant. XRP is 30% of the Galaxy. Bloomberg Index 30% is the max. I mean, it's clearly obvious, and like I've said before, this is the news that we get. The news that we get from these websites is kind of the news that we're allowed to see. And I mean, as far as like all these non-disclosure agreements and all this other stuff, so you have to understand that behind the scenes there's something major that's also taking place that we are just maybe not aware of. Especially if you put 30% of your entire fund into a cryptocurrency, you probably have access to some of the meetings that are happening behind the scenes, or some of the other people who are making these deals who are probably telling you, as we don't specifically have insider trading in the cryptocurrency space right now, hey, we just made this plan, we have a merger, we have something going on, we're planning on launching this product May 2019, just a random time date, and therefore you should probably look into getting some of it yourself. Thoughts on Binance Coin? I don't have many thoughts on Binance Coin, but I think they're incredibly intelligent for what they're doing. It's going to be listed on their upcoming decentralized exchange as like the main coin on top of it. Okay, that's kind of weird. There's a warning there. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. I think Binance Coin is going to do relatively well, especially because I think it's kind of weird that Binance Coin is also being listed on other cryptocurrency exchanges. I don't know what they're doing that for, but okay. Is 0.1 Bitcoin good? Yeah, I guess so. It depends on how much Bitcoin you think you personally need. We don't want Bitcoin ETF. We want it in the Forex. It is a currency, not a commodity. We need an epic dump in BTC finally. Yeah, this is what I was saying yesterday. Like, if the market's going to drop because of the ETF withdrawal, let it happen. Let us get to that bottom and let's kind of move on. Is XRP going to 15 cents? If Bitcoin starts slamming down and heads towards 3,000 and ends up hitting around 2,400, we would probably see some of the lowest coin prices we would ever see in our lifetime, maybe. Someone wrote screen is still fuzzy. It shouldn't be. It's I have it on a separate tablet next to me so that I can actually see the live chat, and it's coming up as high quality. Don't know about everybody else. Someone said, is it just me or is the screen a bit blurry? Shouldn't be. Don't scare me with these things. TMI, after XRP and EOS, if you had $1,000, which 2 coins would you pick up? Does it have to be 2 coins? Why is everybody so obsessed with 2 coins? You guys like pitting me against blurry for the screen is perfect. Blurry. Why is it blurry? Nah, it's not blurry. Okay. To us, it's blurry. Fuzzy in Ireland. It's blurry for me too. Are you guys all lying? Or are you trying to like make me sad? There's nothing I can really do. Typically, when I've watched other live streams before, it had to do with like the internet connection. I'm through wireless. So you can't see me, but I just moved my computer slightly up further towards the internet box. Someone said click refresh. Right. So the question was if I had 2 coins to buy. What was it? Besides EOS and XRP, I think those were the 2 coins. It would probably be 2 coins. Oh, come on. It would have to be Cardano. Oh, this is difficult. And maybe Ethereum. Don't know. Thank you very much, Juice Dog. Amazing name for your donation. Can we discuss VeChain? If not, can you make a vid on the vet in the future? Real use case and partnerships. Thanks. I know very little about VeChain. I've seen a lot of people asking me. About Tezos, VeChain, Ontology, Quantum, Zilliqa. I've seen some about Chainlink as well. There are a lot of coins that especially this one right here, Holochain. I've seen the most people asking me about it. I don't know a lot about these coins, and I try to be as honest as possible with everybody. I try to simply focus on Amisego used to be in the top 20. So this is why I had before that I try to stick with the top 20 coins, because these are the coins that I've seen are going to get the most adoption, i.e., from my standpoint, when we have people talking about like funds that they're creating or mutual funds or hedge funds or retirement funds, what have you, about rounding around cryptocurrencies, I try to focus on these because this still bothers me so much. I have no idea what this is. Someone said it's a dragon without a wing. So I try to focus on certain coins that I have an indication that are going to do potentially very well in the future. That's my kind of thing, how I feel about the thing. Someone says, I hope you got my Patreon. I believe so. I think so. I have you on my list. I believe I have you on my list. I'm pretty sure I have you on my list. Someone said, are you a Bitcoin maximalist? Thank you very much, Chris Moretta, for your donation. If blurry, use menu and verify your quality settings. Thank you very much, Consciousness and Puppies. That name's amazing. Thoughts on Nano and Pivx? I have very few thoughts on Nano. As much as I know about Nano is that Charlie Lee, the guy who created Litecoin, was boasting about Nano before. Pivx, I never ever hear about. In my personal opinion, I barely ever hear about this coin at all, except for when people are asking me in the live streams. Not even in the news, I barely see anything about it. And someone asked before, am I a Bitcoin maximalist? I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I'm a Bitcoin understander. I've come to the realization that Bitcoin is probably not going to go anywhere. The fact, and I clarify as far as the fact that Bitcoin has gone on this long without crumbling into itself, even with the 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 transactions per second, especially when we have so much information, or we have so much movement around the Bitcoin name because of all the institutions who are starting to pick it up, has told me, and logically speaking, it's probably not going anywhere. So therefore, I feel like it could be a safe bet, in my opinion, as we go forward, because the Bitcoin name kind of sells crypto. You'd be hard pressed to find someone opening up a cryptocurrency exchange with the New York Stock Exchange, and they're like, yeah, we're listing Ravane and Digibyte as our main coins. You wouldn't draw in as many names with the NASDAQ or anything like that if you didn't have the Bitcoin name. So like I said, I'm not a maximalist or an extremist, definitely not, but I am a Bitcoin understander. Like, I understand why Bitcoin has lasted so long and why remember before we were talking about the longer that Bitcoin lasts and continues to go on, that the stronger it kind of gets. Someone said, your thoughts on Tron. Do you think Tron will go down a bit? I think Tron is going to be seen as a very interesting part of cryptocurrency's legacy. Thank you very much, Leon Finch, for your donation. Do you see a $5 beam in 2020? I'll get back to that in 1 second. My personal opinion on Tron has not changed. I tried to change it multiple times. I tried to really get into Tron. I tried to look more into it. There was also a period in 2018 where I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to join the Tron hype chain. There's clearly something that I'm missing. I'm not understanding the entire project. I need to open up my eyes and start looking deeper into it. And then we had that situation where Justin Sun kept on going into the news, and like the 8 things that he said in a row weren't partnerships. The entire BitTorrent thing, I think it's cool. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I think Tron, I mean, not that Tron has to like prove anything to me, but you get on my good side as a cryptocurrency when you actually prove yourself. There was a lot of hype. I mean, in the entire market, everyone said that every single coin was going to go to these astronomical numbers. We had people talking about the Ethereum was going to go to $4,000 to $7,000 last year. I don't dislike Tron, but it's definitely not my favorite coin that we have on the market right now. I personally feel that we have a lot of other coins that can do exactly what Tron can do, but that should not discourage you from doing an extensive amount of research into Tron to see if you feel like it is the appropriate place for you to put your money. Do I see a $5 beam in 2020? Let me actually look for the price of beam right now. I think this is the website where they have... Yeah, this is the, I shouldn't have even used this website. This is they have the circulating supply as like the full circulating supply, as in like every single beam that's going to be out there. And I think it's a very bad metric. I tried to use another, what is that, CoinGecko? I tried CoinGecko as well, and they also have this as a circulating supply. This is also incorrect. In my personal opinion, I think Beam is going to have a run-in with what Grin had a run-in with. As far as like Grin was like $25 and then slammed down to like 80 cents. I think these coins are not even slightly overvalued. I think they're overvalued right now because no one's using them. There are like 5 or 6 different cryptocurrency exchanges who have listed them. I think these are the Beam and Grin are supposed to be like the successors or like the sister brother chains to Bitcoin, and slightly not really to like XRP, simply because Beam is trying to have itself be like this professional platform that's built off of Mimblewimble, and they have like this professional look to their website. This is why people are not even comparing it to Ripple / XRP. It's more like they have a very cleaned up look. I think, I mean, realistically, for something that just came out, I don't think it should have a price anything above 5-10 cents, especially in a market like this. There aren't this many of them floating around. The volume isn't a lot compared to many other coins, like especially like look at Zcash. It's not a lot at all. Just my opinion. I think Beam and Grin, if they continue to do what they need, they're going to have a very bright future. But as of right now, they're very, very new. Like they are 2.5 weeks old, if even something like that. So don't fall for the hype that is going around out there. Right. So next discussion. This is another thing that I wanted to make a video of, but I decided to talk about it in this video. There's a rapid discussion going around right now, and I'm going to lower my brightness because it's burning my eyes. I don't even know if it translates for the rest of everyone out there. I guess I don't really even need to like read through it. The discussion kind of goes, Ethereum spoke about moving over to proof of stake because they said that it was wasteful and that the future of cryptocurrencies wasn't with proof of work. As time has gone on, Constantinople has been delayed multiple times, and Ethereum still has this proof of work system. As long as this has continued on, the discussion is now, or rather, I'll put it this way, that what we've seen in other cryptocurrency projects that have used proof of stake before in the past is that the way that it works is the more coins that you have, the more coins that you get when you are proof of stake mining, air quotes, i.e., remember before, for those who were here in late 2017 and 2018, the idea was And Vitalik Buterin said this as well. I think people thought that you needed to have 1000 Ethereum or Ether to be able to proof of stake mine. People were like, that's not going to be completely plausible because this happened. The rumor happened around the time that Ethereum was around like $8 per coin. As Ethereum's price completely skyrocketed by the end of 2017 and I think early 2018, apparently it was like you need, what is it now, like 21 Ether, like some really weird random number that's not even like a complete round number, to be able to do the proof of stake mining. Part of the issue is that people are having is that people are saying or concluding that mathematically, if you hold more Ethereum and you are proof of stake mining, you will then earn more than someone else who doesn't have as much as you. I.e., if there's someone out there, let's say the number's 25, blah, 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 to be able to proof of stake mine, and you have, you know, very rich, you were accumulating over the course of 2015, 16, 17, and you have 5,000 Ethereum, you're going to do or be a lot better off. And part of the controversy has come from the fact that we know that Vitalik Buterin owns a fair share of Ethereum, and people are asking if this is, and I mean, it's all crypto politics. I think people are trying to just have like slight jabs at each other. People are asking if they're switching over to proof of stake simply so that Vitalik Buterin can become richer. Because part of the thing for proof of stake is, for those who don't, not even like the specifics of it, when you stake your coins, you kind of have to lock them into the network. It's the same exact thing if you have staked your coins in EOS. You know that they are like, especially on like certain wallets, they're automatically staked into the network. And if you want to like withdraw your coins or unstake them, it takes 72 hours. I think I don't remember the exact time frame for the Ethereum network. So in order to create new coins under the proof of stake system on Ethereum, you have to lock your coins or your stake, show your stake, into the network. And let's say we have a situation where we have, I think, like 107 million or something like that Ethereum right now, where 104 million. Let's say we have a situation where 20 million Ethereum are then locked into the network so that we can create new Ether. That causes a supply shortage. There aren't as many of them floating around, and the more people the more that you have locked away onto the network to create more coins, the idea is that the more that the price of the coin will go up. The further that the price of the coin goes up, the more people who want to get into the proof of stake mining, and the more people that end up locking their coin up. The more people that then lock their coin up, the higher the prices go, and the more people that see on the outside that the price of the coin is going up, the more coins that they try to acquire, the more coins that they lock up into the market to make more coins. Get it? It's this complete loop. And we've seen this happen for a couple of other projects before in the past. Sorry, looking at the comment section. I'll try and answer everything in a couple of seconds. 72 hours for EOS. Yeah. But the point is, the question now remains, and this is where I think crypto politics kinds of, this isn't going to end. It's kind of how the cryptocurrency space is right now. The argument is that proof of work, which Bitcoin uses an immense amount of energy, and that the world leaders, the World Forum, the World Economic so-and-so will not allow cryptocurrencies to continue if we continue on a proof of work system because it is too energy intensive. And then you have people on the other side who are talking about that proof of work isn't as energy intensive, especially if you have your own solar panels or you're using your own grid, which I think in the background is probably happening. A lot of cryptocurrency, a lot of Bitcoin and Ethereum, because of proof of work, mining factories, if you want to call them this right now, are having a situation where they're being not kicked out of countries, but they're being told, hey, you can't use our electricity anymore. So I think they're moving to other places where either they are a lot friendlier or they're doing that thing in that there was a desert somewhere. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was not the one in Nevada, I think it was. It was somewhere, Africa? Somewhere, I don't remember exactly where it was, but they plan on opening up a brand new cryptocurrency mining factory that's going to use a renewable energy, and I assume that they're going to be off the grid. I think it's impossible to get either way. There's no way to kind of appease everyone, because we've seen logically the idea was if we're mining Bitcoin, we should all be able to mine Bitcoin at the exact same time. I should be able to use any laptop, any computer, and be able to mine Bitcoin the same exact way that someone else has, but we know that Bitcoin isn't built this way, and therefore, if you have tens of thousands of computers, you profit more than other people who do not have these computers. However, on the same exact way, with proof of stake, if you only have 25, you're going to profit, but not as much as the person who has 10,000. This is where these questions kind of come in. I think it's everyone kind of jabbing at each other, talking about that yours is more centralized than this one, especially when it talks about China and China controlling, air quotes, 80% of the Bitcoin mining hash rate, which we saw before, reflected in numbers from other places who were doing this, research. They were looking for this information. And now people are saying that proof of stake is also going to be heavily centralized because, remember, what was it? A couple of days ago, we were talking about someone wrote proof of ham. I remember a couple of days ago, we were talking about the, I think it's Grayscale, who owns 1% of all the Bitcoin. And then we had some other fund. The rumor is that they own 20% of all the Ether that's kind of flowing around out there. So imagine a situation where you may have acquired 26 Ethereum and you're like, yeah, I finally have some. And then you look at this other person across the table and they have 20 million Ethereum. They're also then creating a massive amount of money, and it kind of makes the richer. But to be fair, we know exactly how the world works. The more computers you can buy, the richer you're going to get to be able to mine more cryptocurrencies. The same exact way, if you do not have enough money, then you cannot mine all the cryptocurrencies. It's going to be an ongoing discussion. Proof of vegan. It's going to be an ongoing discussion. I don't think there's any way out of this, unless you put like a cap limit on the amount of coins that someone can have, which is not going to happen because your network is not decentralized. Like you can't tell people what they can do with their money and how they can deal with it. You can put a cap on the amount of coins that can be staked at one time, which then also kind of gets to a situation where people are less incentivized to buy or hold or use your coin because you have capital restrictions, the same exact thing that we've seen with banks. Really weird situation in the cryptocurrency space. Someone said Litecoin, your thoughts, please. I like Litecoin. Do you want my honest opinion on what I feel about Litecoin? When I got into the cryptocurrency space, there were very few coins. Litecoin was one of them. Litecoin was touted as the silver to Bitcoin's gold. And also it was a test net for Bitcoin. As time has gone on, we have multiple test nets for Bitcoin. Litecoin doesn't have a very strong use case anymore. Like, you can still raise your hands in the air and scream at me if you want. I think Litecoin is going to remain around simply because of the name. We've also seen many other funds and other crypto exchanges constantly adding Litecoin. I think it's going to exist in this type of world. But in my opinion, Litecoin, I think the phrase is does not hold a candle to EOS, Ethereum, XRP, Tron, Cardano, IOTA. Like, Litecoin's use case was always a brotherly relationship to Bitcoin. But Litecoin is constantly slipping in the rankings because there's so many other coins that are quicker and faster and more used than it. My kind of opinion. I like the idea of Litecoin, but I think it's something that has been heavily usurped by a number of other coins that came out after it. Regardless if Litecoin is going to, rather it already has the Lightning Network. It's just kind of like this, why, like this thought bubble above your head that says, why Litecoin? That's kind of how I feel about it. Yeah. Only way LTC does well, Wall Street invests in BC, it's the top. Yeah, no, like, Litecoin will do fairly well if we get people from Wall Street who like the name Litecoin, or rather they've heard about it before. Like Litecoin has this still connection to Bitcoin. Like, there's no connection between the name Bitcoin and like Tezos or like Qtum. Like, if you were in the cryptocurrency space a couple of years ago, Litecoin is still kind of indirectly connected to Bitcoin. And I think Litecoin will do relatively well if we get news that is being, listed to like funds and stuff like that. But it's a very weird coin. Like, and I don't want to say like it served its purpose, because I know there are tons of people who like Litecoin, but we know that so many other coins are quicker and faster than it. Like, it's still hindered by the same exact thing that Bitcoin was kind of hindered by. And it's not even like the greatest platform that we have for decentralized applications or to be able to build websites on. Like, you cannot logically build like side chains and stuff like that. The same exact thing with Bitcoin to be able to make Litecoin quicker. But what about projects that can already do that? Like, what's the, I don't know, just kind of my, seniority. Yeah, I mean, it definitely has it, but it's like, yeah, maybe I'm just too much of a nowist. Like, I look at what's going on now. That's not, Litecoin can logically have all these updates and stuff on top of it, but it's kind of like we have other coins now. It served its purpose. So we spoke about this. The next topic that we're going to talk about is something, and this is where I think it gets very interesting, because this is something that people don't talk about, and I think it needs to be spoken about, and people kind of downplay it. But this is something very big right now, and I've heard this pronounced two ways. I'm not sure if it's fungibility or fungibility. I think it's fungibility. So if I pronounce it two different ways, don't even mind me. You may notice, for those looking at the screen, that this is an article from 2016, but it's still incredibly important. I've been hearing about this the last couple of months, and every time I heard about it in a podcast, I would kind of skip forward because it didn't really interest me. It wasn't something very important. You know, when you keep hearing something over and over and over. Someone said fungibility. Okay, all right. I'm gonna fungibility it up. When you keep hearing something over and over, you kind of like stop and really listen to it. I'm gonna read through this, and then it'll all make a lot of sense as to exactly what's happening with Bitcoin. This is why it says in the title, "Is one Bitcoin worth one Bitcoin?" You're going to be fairly surprised at exactly what's happening in the cryptocurrency space. It says, "What if one Bitcoin isn't like the others?" That's what Pete Rizzo, my editor at CoinDesk, asked in his coverage of the Scaling Bitcoin event held in Milan. This was obviously 2 years ago. And it's an important question to ask, because if one Bitcoin is not like the others, Bitcoin is as good as dead. The fungibility of Bitcoin has always been discussed as one of the prime merits, for good reason. As the definition says, fungibility is the property of a good or a commodity whose individual units are capable of mutual substitution. That is, it is the property of essence or goods which are capable of being substituted in the place of one another, end quote. And I'll explain all that in one bit, because it may be a little strange for people to hear that. Fungibility is a core attribute of any successful currency. That $20 bill that I handed the bartender yesterday has the same value as the $20 bill I'll hand the guy charging me for lunch tomorrow. If it doesn't, the $20 bill and, truthfully, all U.S. cryptocurrencies, all U.S. currency would lose its place as a safe currency. So the idea is that 20 is always 20. Regardless of where you swap it, regardless of inflation, it still has that look on it. You can still tell that it's a $20 bill. Gold is one of the most talked about fungible commodities on the planet. If you take 1 kilogram of gold, melt it down, and then make a new kilogram brick of gold, both will be worth the exact same amount. Yet the fungibility of Bitcoin is at risk because, in increasing instances, one Bitcoin does not equal another. At the Scaling Bitcoin event, the CEO of Blockstream said, "Some of the exchanges and hosted wallets are using tracing services and up to 4 hops away deep from you. If something is associated with Silk Road, they will freeze your account." He summed it up perfectly by saying, "Other people's actions, which have got nothing to do with you, and you have essentially, potentially no connection with 4 hops is a very long way away," end quote. To put all of this into perspective, to make sure that everyone understands exactly what's going on, we have a situation right now in the cryptocurrency space where, and this was happening even 2-3 years ago, which I find quite fascinating. We've seen before that there are instances where cryptocurrency exchanges and other places like that have been talking about like blacklisting cryptocurrency addresses and wallets, and I really didn't get it before, but I totally get it right now, and this is why we're having this discussion. 4 hops away pretty much means, let's say, and this is the easiest way to kind of explain it, let's say there are 10 people in a chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. Let's go to the third person. Let's say that person was associated with something on Silk Road. Let's say, for those who don't know what Silk Road is, Silk Road was a website where people were trading, buying and or selling things that are probably deemed illegal in your country or in your city, wherever you might be living. Let's say someone, the third person in that chain, decides to buy something on Silk Road, sends it to the Silk Road Bitcoin address, and then the federal government comes bursting in and they're like, no, everything here is illegal. Stop all of this stuff right now. And they blacklist the Bitcoin address for Silk Road. It then has like a red dot on it. And this is part of the discussion before, that we know that governments can trace Bitcoin. And this is why I said I thought it was kind of interesting that governments were okay with everyone using Bitcoin. The US government said that they actually wanted people to use Bitcoin simply because you can trace the transactions that are happening on it. And now everything is kind of making sense in everyone's head. I can see people like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Let's say, that situation ends up happening. Third person ends up sending it to Silk Road. That's the fourth link in the chain, is Silk Road. Someone ends up finding a way to take that money out, but because there's a red dot from that Bitcoin address, remember the conversation that we had before about inputs and outputs? Every single address that goes on the Bitcoin network is kind of like they're all connected together and they're all smashed together. And this is kind of the reason why we have Mimblewimble, because it cuts out the middlemen. All you need to know is that I have it and that you gave it to me, not the other 8 people in the chain. If you have these coins from Silk Road, they become blacklisted. And what pretty much happens is they take the 4 hops away from you. So even if you send it to 4 other people along this chain, the US government and other places, especially if you are sending it to cryptocurrency exchanges, they can blacklist your coins because they were exposed to these wallets. And I know that sounds completely insane, but this is exactly how it works. And this is why we've seen so much news before about blacklisting cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. And on the same, am I still there? Okay, should have worked. Can everyone hear me? I think it came back. I don't know why OBS cut out. Yeah, okay, there we go. Cool. The point is, without ranting on, I usually don't always listen to her podcast. It's just a matter of sometimes she says stuff that I like. She doesn't really care for Ethereum. She doesn't really care for XRP. She doesn't care for anything except for Bitcoin. Anyway, the point is, on her latest episode, which I listened to today as I was running on my errands, she had Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss on, the Winklevoss twins, talking about the cryptocurrency space. And more specifically, she was asking them, did they really believe that crypto needed rules? And if you have a chance to listen to this, it may be one of the most, I guess maybe not as mind-blowing as I thought as I was walking down the street. Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss, she was asking them, there's so much to unpack. She was asking them, why were they focusing exclusively on New York to be able to do their cryptocurrency exchange? Did they think that they were going to become bigger than Binance? Did they think they were going to be so and so and so? And then she was asking them, she said, do you guys truly believe that crypto needs rules? Because they have a new ad campaign that's floating around New York City, specifically New York City, that says crypto needs rules. And she was asking, she says, there are a lot of people in the cryptocurrency community who believe that crypto has rules. The rules on cryptocurrency are based on the blockchain, based on how many coins are going to be created for Bitcoin, how many transactions per second. These are the rules that are kind of governing cryptocurrencies. And they said, no, we believe that crypto needs rules from governments. We believe that banks and institutions should be stepping in, that the SEC should step in, that the CFTC, ABC should all have their place in the cryptocurrency space. And part of the things that they were talking about is she mentioned blacklisting cryptocurrency exchanges. And they kind of agreed with her that this is something that also needs to happen. And this is kind of what got me the idea for this video, because I sat there thinking, I was like, they don't actually, in my opinion, I don't think that the Winklevoss twins actually care about cryptocurrency. I don't think it's anything more than, to be fair, we're all here for the money. But it feels like a very hyper cash grab on their part, if I can kind of say that. We know that they own an enormous amount of Bitcoin. But it got me a little annoyed when they were for the idea that government should completely step on the necks of everyone in cryptocurrencies and kind of have a major role in the cryptocurrency space. And this includes the government having the authority to be able to blacklist cryptocurrency exchanges, which is I think a major problem, because while we have a situation right now where is it? Somewhere around here. Yeah, we had a situation in November of last year. And this is why I said we heard about it, didn't really, not that we didn't care about it, but it was kind of like, they can't do that. We have a situation where if you are a government or someone else in power and you decide, hey, you're dangerous, you're doing something wrong, I'm going to blacklist your Bitcoin address because you're doing something that we don't want you to do, everyone else who gets those coins after you is then affected because you can track where these transactions are going. And this is a very major problem because it becomes an instance where, like I said, the situation right now is that they're targeting people who they say have done incredibly criminal things. But what if they decide, there was a proposal, and I don't have it in this video, and I really should have. There was a proposal from some other country that said that owning, I think, your own cryptocurrency in your own wallet, there was a bill that they were trying to think about passing that would make that illegal. I.e., if you're holding your own cryptocurrencies in your own wallet and you don't let the government know, or you don't have it in a crypto bank account that's held by the bank or the central bank, you're then doing something illegal. Kind of the same exact way, if you have $100,000, you're going to put that money normally in a bank account and not have it under your mattress. The same exact way when you're traveling across seas and they say if you have over $10,000 on you, you have to let them know, or the government know, that you're traveling with this money, which is not something that typically happens with Bitcoin because it's on the actual blockchain and it's not actually on you, if that kind of makes a lot of sense. So when I heard that, I got very worried because I'm pretty sure that they're not the only ones who think this. I'm pretty sure they're not the only ones who think that government should have the right to be able to blacklist other people's wallets, whatever the case might be. And I think this leads us down a very dangerous path. I mean, you can probably figure out why. We have Charlie Lee said that it doesn't matter. I think maybe in the future it may not matter, but as the world stands right now, this is definitely a major problem. And you want to know what's even weirder is this is once again why I love the internet, because everything can be found in a matter of seconds. There are actually websites, and side note, this is not me talking about them or sponsoring them or that I'm affiliated with them or telling me to use their service. If anything, stay away from things like this simply unless you do like an enormous amount of research. There are websites that claim that they will clean your Bitcoin for you. And I remember seeing this years ago and I didn't get it. And now I finally understand. You pretty much, this is why I said do research, because you have to send them your Bitcoin. And it says send your dirty coins to the address and they'll give you new coins. And I was reading about something that last week. It was on my tablet, not even on my actual thing. And they were talking about that there are a lot of services like this right now where people are making sure, and it's the craziest thing in the entire world. Let's say you're buying 5,000 Bitcoin from Coinbase. You're doing it over the counter. You can contact them and say, I want to make sure that my coins are clean, meaning that they only have maybe one or two other addresses before them, and you can track exactly who had them, when they had them, when they let them go, and that there's no address anywhere associated in the output or input of anything that had to do with Mt. Gox, with the Silk Road or anything like that. And this is where we get the idea of a clean Bitcoin. And now the title makes a bit more sense as to is one Bitcoin worth one Bitcoin? Because the article that I was reading says that according to people who are in this for the very long term, and that is like the hyper institutional investors, there is a difference in the fungibility of Bitcoin right now, because one Bitcoin in some cases does not equal one Bitcoin. This isn't me saying that Bitcoin's going away. This isn't me saying that Bitcoin's doomed or is not going to make it so and so and so. This is why we have such a huge push right now going to all the developers who are dealing with Bitcoin and stuff like that, trying to make sure that they add all these privacy layers and stuff like that, so that we don't have to deal with stuff like this, so that you can't tell who these transactions are going through. And now it makes a bit more sense. Remember, we were talking before about the potential implications of adding the Mimblewimble protocol onto Bitcoin. It's because you would essentially, in theory, erase all of the other nefarious transactions that are happening, so that you wouldn't have to worry about if your Bitcoin is worth slightly less. Because according to that article that I was reading, and something else that I read after it, the way that it stands right now, and it's kind of insane, is that people will actually value a Bitcoin less if it has too many transactions attached to it. It's a very weird situation. But like I said, I thought this was something that I needed to discuss because I keep hearing about it, or rather I kept hearing about it. And there's so many, and it just didn't, not that it didn't make sense to me before, but it didn't seem logical in my head that one Bitcoin wouldn't be worth one Bitcoin. But lo and behold, this is the situation that we actually have right now, where people are, rich people, are trying to make sure that they buy Bitcoin that they deem is clean, and they actually value it a bit more. Yeah, I guess that's the thing that I had to, I don't know. Crypto's very odd. I think it's a very fascinating world, the cryptocurrency space, simply because there are so many things. There are constantly so many new things that you kind of hear about and read about and kind of get into that you normally wouldn't think about, I guess, in normal finance. Like, no one is probably thinking, like, if I'm giving $1 for something, that it won't be worth $1 because it has like dirt on it or something like that. Like, it's still legal tender and has to kind of be used. This will eventually be resolved, but part of the problem is right now is that no one knows when. So I'm afraid of having a situation where for the next, even articles like this talking about they're powerless, but they're not, though, because they've been doing it. And when money has been there was also something discussed with Coinbase as well. They were talking about that they've received certain coins from people that they have seen that they were tied to like Silk Road and stuff like that. And they were like rejecting payments. So they were sending back payments and they were like closing people's accounts. And it's kind of like, what is going on? So it sets us up for a situation where you have to worry about if your coins are okay, if you had them in the right place, if they have something negative attached to them, if you're not worth as much as the other coins. Like I said, this will eventually be resolved, but at the moment it's not really going to be, at least for quite some time, in my opinion. It says 99.9% are still clean, right? But this is where I love that the account is also called Elon Musk. But part of the problem is that we still have a situation where 0.01 aren't, air quote, where these coins aren't clean. Where if we imagine if we have a situation, imagine. We know that Venezuela, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and fifth country are, probably potentially maybe getting into Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. Imagine if they get into cryptocurrencies, and more specifically Bitcoin, and they're sending these coins back and forth around the world. They're accumulating, but they're also spending on certain things, and these coins eventually get to you, but these coins have been blacklisted by the United States because of sanctions. And then you have a situation where it's no longer just that, that tiny percent, but it's around like 5% of all Bitcoin that are floating around, and you're kind of like, what happens then? Like, we know that, whatever. I mean, it's kind of, I guess, just very frustrating because this is when I talk about, I think that crypto is moving faster than I thought that it would, but it's still moving relatively slow. I think a lot of these things should have been addressed many years ago, but I think it's still going to take time. But I don't want to have a situation where it takes 5 years and then other people are affected by stuff like this. Don't worry, be happy. I know I worry too much. If only you saw me in my normal life, you would, give me a chill pill. I wonder how many greenbacks have been used to buy drugs. I saw a documentary years ago. They said apparently, I think it's one out of every like 20 $100 bills and like $20 bills have actually been used in illicit activities. Yeah. No, yeah, it's not that Bitcoin isn't fine, but it's like, I don't know. I guess I'm always too afraid of encroachment or something negatively affecting the space, because there was like a desperate attempt sometime around like 2000, what was it, 14, 15, somewhere around there, where all they spoke about was like Mt. Gox and how Mt. Gox was horrible and anyone associated with Mt. Gox was blah, 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 blah. And then we had Silk Road, and Silk Road was the only thing in the news for so long, and it was kind of like I just don't want another situation. I want to spread knowledge if I can, to let people know and understand exactly what's happening in the cryptocurrency space. You tend to walk a lot, don't you? Yeah. I try to be as active and fit as possible. I just try to be healthy. I try to do TRY to do like the normal 10,000 steps a day. I must have done like 25,000 a day, because when I actually fell on the bed, it was kind of embarrassing. XRP for the win. They're going to have a Bitcoin encrypted wallet on Galaxy Samsung S10 soon. Yeah, I hope that other people actually end up doing this as well. I would like to see more things like this. Got a pet? No. Thinking about it. Thought about getting a dog. I'm lazy and I don't like cleaning up number 1 and number 2 just because it's how my life kind of is. So I think eventually I'll get an animal, but probably not for some time. Do you guys have any questions, stuff you want me to talk about, stuff you want me to go over, you would like me to discuss? Any questions out there? Because I think I went over everything that I kind of wanted to talk about. The ETF thing is completely insane. I hope Bitcoin continues on with the price that we have right now, if not goes up a little bit higher. I have my own ideas about proof of stake. I don't think it's bad. I think just maybe needs to be worked on a little bit. Someone said get a cat then. Yeah, but cats also use the bathroom and I'm lazy. Someone said, dude, Scrabis1 is trying to hit you up. Where? And I don't know who Scrabis is. The Neo coin in Russia, like the speculation that they may be using their blockchain. What price will Bitcoin get to? When? Like tomorrow? We have a lot of crazy price predictions for Bitcoin. It could actually be anything. What's your thoughts on exchange volumes not matching on-chain volume? I don't know. People say it's manipulation. I can't even give you like a proper answer anymore. It's just kind of all over the place. So much of the over-the-counter trading is, I don't know. I think it's not that it's negatively affecting the market, but it's like, come on already. Someone said Bitcoin time traveler thing is getting more and more scary with the world going the way that it is. Yeah, and I'll tell you this right now. The last thing that I need for confirmation for that, not even tinfoil hat, tinfoil outfit time, is if the thing that's supposed to happen in 2019 is Bitcoin's price is supposed to hit 100,000. That'll kind of seal the deal for me because everything else has kind of been correct. What games do you play on Steam? None at the moment. I downloaded it. I downloaded, I think, 2 games. And then I haven't really touched it at all. I'm still thinking, and I'm not even thinking anymore. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to make a video game channel. I had another video game channel. This was like 2 or 3 years ago, and I was playing just like mobile games and stuff like that. But I think I'm going to actually make like a proper video game channel just because I like playing video games and I also like streaming. So why the fudge not? Do you think Mt. Gox coins being released in circulation, release is already factored in? Do you think Mt. Gox coins being released is already factored in? No. That's not supposed to happen. One of the craziest things that's supposed to happen this year is that the Mt. Gox coins are going to be given back to the people who lost them in like April, May, or June. There's no set time frame. That's going to have a very huge effect on the price of Bitcoin because there were certain people who had like 4,000 Bitcoin on that exchange when Bitcoin was like worth nothing. Someone said buy a fish. I thought about it. I definitely did. One of my sister's friends when growing up had a fish, and she had like at least like 300 fish. It was a massive fish tank. I remember it, like being a kid and looking at it. It was so impressive. One day they were having a party. Someone knocked into it, and the whole thing completely flooded her flat. So that always stays in the back of my head. Someone said Alex Cobb, $1,000 plus in super chat last vid. Wow, that's insane. Good for him. That's absolutely nuts. What price will XRP get to this year? $3,482 million. I don't even know. I can't even give you a proper number. Missed something. Thank you very much. Pocket Sand 5111 for a donation. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bugsy, once again for your donation. Check out Theta Network, a decentralized video streaming like YouTube. Huge backers, co-founder of YouTube on their board. Mainnet launches the 15th of March. I assume as we get closer, we're probably going to have some news. I've definitely heard of Theta Network before. I've heard it like spoken about before. I'm not sure if it was on a podcast where people were talking about, what's it called? Like not ERC20 tokens, but like other projects that are going to be launching sometime this year. Probably definitely one of them. I was kind of hoping that Steam 2.0 would also launch this year. I've been looking for other platforms to kind of Spread my crypto wing. Someone wrote, did the fish die? Yes, they did. Yeah, it was the craziest thing in the entire world. Like the fish tank, it was like it was custom made. It wrapped around her living room. It was incredibly nuts. It was impressive as a child to see. I can still see it in my head. But at some point, someone knocked into it. The whole thing cracked. So I assume, unless fish can breathe normal air, they probably did not all do that well. Does Beam and Grin fix the fungibility, and when are they live? They're both live since like about maybe 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or something like that. They kind of fix it in essence, like they make it so that the transactions are you don't see the other transactions that happened. You only see the transaction on the blockchain that happened between you and the very first person who had it. So it kind of cleans the slate, if you will, for transactions that are happening. Will Binance leave the US? Yes, I think so. To be completely blunt, I am not with Binance. I'm not with Binance. It's fairly certain that Changpeng Zhao has mentioned before that I think he and U.S. regulators are not on good terms, same as I think with Kraken. I don't think they're going to do very well in the States, at least. Do you have EOS? And if you do you vote? I do have EOS. It's one of my favorite projects in the cryptocurrency space right now. Do I vote? Yes and no. I have a very, 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 very tiny bit staked. I don't vote. I like to have my coins free, if that kind of makes sense. Someone said, are we able to play with you? You mean like on the video game channel? Maybe. I was thinking of doing like, what's it called? I was thinking of doing like really big like released games, and maybe like games that ended up like that are on Steam and that people could like, as they're watching the live stream, could like what's it called, like suggest for me to actually play. I think that would be kind of cool. Make a Clash of Clans. I used to play Clash of Clans. Actually right now I play Brawl Stars. I don't know what's up with that game. I think it's so much fun, and I can't kind of get enough of it. It's kind of insane. Modern Investor, do you think Codius will take over Ethereum? Maybe. I need Codius to like officially launch. I think Codius is active. I put it this way. It hasn't been in the news enough for me to realize that it's actually out there, but I think Codius is very hyped up at the moment for being able to actually take it over. Winklevoss twins are taken out first. Oh my gosh. Okay, continuing on. Did the fish die? Yes, they did. You talk too fast. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm trying to make sure that I answer all the comments. This is why I talk very fast. Perfect radio voice. Thank you. I actually hate my voice, but thank you. Can you make some real estate videos? Maybe if I started like another channel. This channel is exclusively for cryptocurrency, so I don't think I'll mesh them anytime soon. How do I buy kin safely? I would use go to CoinMarketCap and look. Maybe it's even over here. I'm gonna see if I can find it for you. Sometimes they have it. Skin coin. My goodness. Hold on. Website, white paper, kin foundation, cryptocurrency, get loan, interest. They usually have something that says like markets. Maybe they just don't have it around here. Typically you look at like the volume that's being produced by the coin, and then kind of go there. I've used YoBit before in the past. I have had okay success with it. People have said that they have not liked YoBit. They didn't really care for it. I think people have said that they've been using HitBTC, and a lot of people have also been saying that they've been using Bancor. Whatever you buy it on, do your own research heavily before you do anything. Still scrolling down. 2 minutes on EOS. What you think? Can you make video how to stake EOS? It's very easy. You can even do it within the Exodus wallet. There's like an actual thing in the Exodus wallet where you can stake your EOS. LTC is creeping up. Checking that. Yeah, it looks like it's trying to pass by Stellar over here. I wonder what good, like if there's any good news that just like popped up or something. Do you play RuneScape? Nope, never played it. Kin to 1 cent even with this 10 trillion supply. No, yeah. So see, here's the distinction. When you look at, I was just on it. Oh boy, get back to this again, and I'll show you what I mean by 1 cent. If my computer's ever going to click, there we go. Where is it? Yeah, it says the total supply is 10 trillion, but the circulating supply is this. And this is where I base my metrics on, because when typically we've seen before in the past when people are looking for the price of something or how to gauge the price, blah, 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 you base it off of the circulating supply, not the complete total supply. If I can show you a chart somewhere over here, all time, right here, this is the run up for the bull market. December, right here, ran up to this price. Let me see if I can actually hit it. Yep, it was 1 decimal place behind 1 cent. And this was before the token was actually being used. It was kind of like this brand new thing on the block. This token has not been out for that long. Anyway, the point is, it got up that high during the last bull run. And my idea is, if you're going to be added to 50 other apps, if we have another bull run, that's people are talking about, we're supposedly going to have a bull run that's going to last anywhere from 6, 9, 12 to 15 months. It's going to be a relatively long bull run. The idea that people are saying, if you have 50 apps that are going to be using your token, it is fairly safe to assume that you will probably hit by this number again. This is also contingent with Bitcoin passing by 20,000. If we could have Bitcoin hit 20,000, we are logically going to hit somewhere around this number again, because Kin has gotten more adoption and more people are using it. By this time, Kin wasn't on any real cryptocurrency exchange around this time. Nowhere, especially even around here. It's been adopted a lot more. Point is, when you're gauging the actual price of it, they've been using the circulating supply. It's not going to hit $1 anytime soon. One Kin is not, the entire whatever of Kin is not going to be worth $756 billion. Just not going to happen. A 10-cent Kin gets us to a $75 billion market cap, but that's more believable. Still bringing it back again. If you go back 1 more decimal place to 1 cent, you have a $7.5 billion Kin, which is the price of some other less used, and I don't want to use the word crappier coins, ended up hitting last 2017 when prices were going up. So one can logically assume if you have 50 apps using your cryptocurrency and other people potentially hoarding them, who knows exactly what's going on, what else is going to happen as time ends up going on. This is why I said a 1, 2, 3, 4 cent Kin I can definitely see. I don't see a 1 cent Kin happening anytime soon. Just to explain, because I think a lot of people didn't get my understanding. Please review Brawl Stars. No. Speak faster. For those who are relatively new, or rather to the stream today, I just woke up a little while ago since I started the stream. So I'm not 100% right now. EOS hit $50. I think eventually definitely can. Rocket League, I don't play it. It makes me upset. I keep losing at it. I don't like that. Someone wrote Scholar Gang. I don't know what that means. You speak faster than X Rapid. Thank you. You should take a look at the crypto game called War Riders. It's a game where you can race and mine crypto. And it's really weird when I thought about the possibility of making another channel. I thought about making a decentralized game channel, but so many of the games are like betting games and stuff like that. Some of them are kind of cool. Some of them are like card games, but I want like a real intensive cryptocurrency game coming out there. And someone said, I play RuneScape. How likely is it that Kin will be listed on Coinbase soon? I don't know. Yeah, this is also another factor. They also announced that they were going to be potentially listing Kin on their platform. So this is where I get my ideas about it. Someone said it will go down. You get EOS airdrops regardless. No staking needed. Yes, EOS vid would be awesome. I made a couple of EOS vids. I think even as it was just coming out or something like that. Hello from Mexico. If TMI is talking too fast, there is a speed option on YouTube. Somebody said they used it before, and they apparently I sounded like I was like going in slow motion. So yeah, yes, EOS will hit $100. It's widely believed. Let me click on EOS over here. It's widely believed that, and I'll show you the actual chart. Where is it? Nope, not all-time high. Yeah, right about here. EOS hit around $22. I think that may have been the all-time high. Yeah, that was when you had the other pump over there. It's widely, and this is kind of the situation that we kind of have going on right now. I told you guys before that a couple of the main people who were talking about that they invested early in early in Ethereum, are now invested in EOS as well. I told you also about the staking mechanism that they have on the EOS token. Like the more coins that are staked, the less coins that are kind of being floated around out there. So it's very much believable that EOS will eventually hit $100. Will it hit 1,000? I don't really know. Hands in the air. Sorry, I just burped if you heard that. Didn't mean to. Just human. Yeah, so I can definitely see $100 EOS. $1,000 EOS like they had for that bet would be like I think a multi-trillion-dollar market cap. I don't know if EOS is ready for that, but I think it'll eventually get there. It's kind of my opinion. You speak fast, but with easy to understand accent for non-native speakers. I've heard that a lot of times. I actually had to change not my accent, but I had to change how I spoke so that people can understand me a bit more. I enunciate as much as I possibly can so that everyone understands what I'm saying. When is next bull run coming? I think tomorrow. I got a message from Brad Garlinghouse. He said that around, I think 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, there's going to be a massive bull run. I have no idea. No one knows. If I knew, if I knew that the next bull run was going to happen tomorrow morning, I would alert not only all of you, but my friends and family to empty out their bank accounts into crypto as quick as humanly possible. So he said, okay, mate. I'm just being honest. Please do a review on over-the-counter trading. There's not really much to review. It's just something that, like, over-the-counter trading isn't something new. It's something that has happened in finance for a very long time. It's just that when in cryptocurrencies, it doesn't hit cryptocurrency exchanges. It hits their order books that they may have in the background, but we just don't see the actual volume that's passing through it. Because in realistic terms, if you had a whole bunch of if we saw all the actual spikes, crypto would have very different prices right now. It would be a completely different place. Why is Quantum over $2? XRP is not even $1. Where's Quantum? Is circulating supply anywhere? Yeah, well, it has 89 million circulating supply, and XRP has 41 billion. So it's a little smidge of a difference. Little smidge of a difference. Yeah, just kind of number game. Lisk thoughts? I have no thoughts on Lisk, at least not at the moment. Omise Go thoughts? Someone asked me this last video as well. I like Omise Go, still obsessed with it. I wish though, they, like I said before, they mentioned that they don't give out rapid updates of things that are happening because they're trying to do things behind the scenes to make sure that everything is going swell, if you kind of want to say that. However, over the course of 2018, I'm a bit disappointed in them, and I mean I can't really say that. Like, and I feel bad saying it because I'm not a developer, so I don't know exactly what goes into the development of these projects. Like I'm just a normal person, normal crypto investor. But on their, what was it called? Not their time scale. My goodness, what's the word? Not their white paper. The thing that shows things that will happen over the course of their project. They had mentioned before that we were going to have a lot of stuff happening with Omise Go in 2018. That none of it actually ended up happening. We still don't have Plasma, so it's kind of like I don't know if Plasma is already ready, and they're simply working out testing the last bugs and stuff like that. But yeah. When is Backed ever going to launch? That's maybe send a letter to your local congressman or something like that. As of right now, it looks like the American government closure, whatever it's called, is going to continue for a very long time, or rather, it's not ending anytime soon. And until then, the CFTC, according to for the backed people, they can't get proper clarification of the paperwork they need to be able to do it. What do you think about Dent? I have no thoughts on Dent. XLM is a fail. Roadmap, yes, that's the word. I sold my uncle's kidneys. Thanks for the advice. Maybe put it back. Just be nice. Roadmap, yeah, there we go. If Ethereum somehow didn't make it, where does that leave Omise Go in the future? Please answer TMI, please. Omise Go is planning on being its own platform. Side note, the thoughts of Ethereum ever dying, I think at this point are fairly slim, at least in my opinion. I think Ethereum, like something detrimental would have to happen to Ethereum. I think Ethereum in some capacity is always going to survive. Ethereum may slink down in price as other coins maybe attempt to try and take it over and stuff like that. The platform isn't going anywhere. And therefore, this means that Omise Go isn't going anywhere. Omise Go plans on being its own ecosystem. Like they have their own plans on exactly what they plan on doing. It's just that they have symbiotically at the moment tied themselves to Ethereum, in that they are both working on the scaling options for Ethereum and therefore also for Omise Go. But it needs to happen. This is kind of why I think a lot of people are not bearish on Omise Go. It's just that they don't really give any information as to what is happening with the project. And they also spoke about stuff on their roadmap that they didn't release. Like stuff hasn't completely happened. And it's kind of like, okay, so then what's happening with the, all these promises and stuff like that? This is why I also said before, I think that Ethereum is suffering from too much not information and not hype, but like they said they were going to do all these things 3 years ago and none of them have been done. We were supposed to have had these things quite a while ago. Yeah. When back to launches, they should play the Baby Got Back song. I'm down for that as long as price isn't moving. Cardano say they have perfected proof of stake. Yeah, this is one of the main things about Cardano. They say that they have solved it. And this is why we had Charles Hoskinson a couple of days ago laughing at Vitalik Buterin, because he said that Ethereum had not solved proof of stake, but Cardano had. Omise Go, EOS, XRP, XLM, hope they all make it. I think they will. I think some obviously a bit more than others. There's only one first place, second place, and third place, and fourth place spot. But I think these coins are probably going to make it. I'm not as bullish as most other people on Stellar. But that doesn't mean that Stellar is going to be going away. Maybe. Someone said, me too, man. Thank you very much for your donation. Po19721977. It says, hi, can Ken gets its 10 cents with 10 trillion supply? I think we just spoke about that. If you look at the non-actual circulating supply, I mean, not the actual total supply, but rather the circulating supply, which is usually the metric that these companies and stuff like that are using. Same exact thing with Stellar. For those who don't know, they're like, 80 billion Stellar or something like that. And this is not the true supply of Stellar. If you look at the actual normal number of the circulating supply of Kin, I think 10 cents is probably a possibility. I'm betting on myself for me making money around a 1 to 2 cent Kin. I think I would be perfectly happy, especially with the prices right now. You can get a lot of, not financial advice, a lot of Kin for a relatively low amount. Just my opinion. Thoughts on Dogecoin, DogePal? Is DogePal a coin? Thank you very much, Joseph, for your donation. Thank you very, 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 very much. I think I said very a lot, but I still thank you very much. Yeah, I don't. Someone said, let's vote for a TMI and Alex Cobb drunk vid and see who talks faster. I don't know. I don't drink, so I assume he would win that one. Dogecoin, I mentioned this before as well, is and was created as a joke coin token, cryptocurrency. I have no Dogecoin. I'm not going to be buying any Dogecoin. It was meant as a joke. I don't want to joke around with my money, so I'm not going to put any money into that. Let's see. Could one whale start a major bull run if they wanted? Maybe. I assume logically, yeah. I mean, yes, logically. If someone decided to take $10 million, let's say, randomly, and, buy up $10 million worth of Tether or USDT or Paxos, and they put a $10 million buy order for Bitcoin at market price, meaning they would simply absorb every single sell order that was there, we'd see a huge jump in Bitcoin's price. I mean, you probably wouldn't maybe want to do the entire thing at once. Maybe do like a chunk of $1 million, and then a chunk of 2 million, then a 3 million, then a 5 million. You would get the market going very, very quick. It's definitely possible. TMI, in your opinion, what is the best exchange to get Ken on? I've used Yobit, like I said. This is what I've used before in the past. It's worked okay for me. Someone said Skycoin. I have no idea what that is. Definitely not going to touch Skycoin. Losing faith in Ken. How are you losing? If you're losing faith in Ken, you've lost faith in the entire cryptocurrency market. Like, everything is going down right now. I don't know. Like, you can Google Ken, like the last 6 months. Like, we know that they're still active. We know that they are actively building on stuff. We know that there are at least 25 apps that they're building that are going to be connected to the cryptocurrency. You should not be losing faith. I mean, if you have, I can't stop you. It's just kind of how life is. Have you ever put a bet on Algor? No, I haven't. I think I actually had some Algor, mid 2017. I maybe want to say. I don't remember. I think I had one or something. I think it was airdropped. I can't remember exactly how I got it. But I have never made a bet on Algor. I think if it becomes a large enough platform, I would probably think about doing that. I think that would be kind of cool. Someone said I say doggy coin. Yeah, I used to as well. I actually used to say doggy coin. Someone said, TMI, you mentioned a few times that you have a feeling that the bull run will start sometime around summertime. Are you not worried at all about Bitcoin price once Mt. Gox situation finally comes to an end? It's definitely a worry of mine. I am hoping in a utopian world that no one's going to sell off their Bitcoin that they receive from the Mt. Gox thing, but I think it's something. So if you want my honest opinion, this is why I have been not stressed, but I'm a little annoyed that there's a government shutdown that the SEC has enacted over the last 4 years and that the CFTC can't do exactly what they want to do. I think if we had seen, in my opinion, proper movement from the SEC, as in they had gotten it together, gave us a Bitcoin ETF out of last year, 2017, and we had seen Bakkt launching, the New York Stock Exchange launching with their thing, and everyone else launching with all their products, I have a strange feeling that all the rest of the world is waiting for the United States to launch their stuff first and their regulations, and then the rest of the world will kind of come to it after that. It feels like, if we had all these other things launching, I feel like Bitcoin's volume would have been staggering right now. It would be completely insane. And I think it would have been able to absorb the blows a bit better of people selling off massive amounts of Bitcoin, because you have to understand, if you have the New York Stock Exchange, Swiss Stock Exchange, German Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, blah, 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 so-and-so, name, who were into the cryptocurrency space, we would probably see a crypto boom that would be ridiculous, which would eventually get us to a price over 5,000, which would send us on our way to 7,000, which would get us over that magic 10,000 number, which would cause the next major bull run as everyone is trying to desperately get into the Bitcoin space and cryptocurrency prices, what have you. If we got to that point, which I'd hope that we get there before the Mt. Gox sell-offs happens. But the shutdown, the longer it goes on, the more my hopes are diminishing of anything like that happening. Because if we end up getting into a situation like that and we have the nice little movement in price, as people are selling off, I don't expect everyone to sell off in the exact same day. As people are selling off over the course of weeks, if not even maybe even holding them, which would also be kind of interesting. Imagine if we get into a situation where crypto prices are going up, people end up getting their Mt. Gox tokens back, and because the prices are going up, everyone kind of holds or sells a lot slower than we thought. Maybe just sells off 1,000 Bitcoin at once. Maybe just sells off a so-and-so. I think the market will be able to absorb that heat a bit more, but the longer prices stay this way, it's kind of worrying as to exactly what can happen. Are you bullish for 2019? Yes. I think we just need things to kind of happen. It drives me absolutely insane that we had so much focus on a Bitcoin ETF, which is now gone. We have still so much focus on the SEC. I don't know exactly what the catalyst is going to be, and I logically assumed with many other people as well, there are a lot of people in podcasts as well who also believe that Bakkt in the New York Stock Exchange launching their own cryptocurrency exchange will probably have a very beneficial effect on the price of cryptocurrencies. All these things, hands in the air, are supposed to launch in Q1 of this year. That is by March, end of March. So we still have a bit more time, hopefully. Someone say, yep, that's how whales work. Kin is backed by my kick, a billionaire-dollar company. TMI, Hollow, very interesting. Elasto coin a super project, maybe. Kin isn't going anywhere. Yeah, that's just it. I don't expect Ken to. Why is everyone okay? I'm a little confused. I think people are confusing that I'm saying that Ken is going to be like this mega major awesome winner. I mentioned it like 3 times in one video like months ago, and a lot of people are kind of focused on Ken being like this mega winner. I don't expect Ken to ever become an XRP. Ken is never going to be a Bitcoin. Ken is probably never going to even become a Litecoin. But Ken is probably going to hit 1, 2, or 3 cents. And this is why I'm saying this is where I see my future prospects for Ken. Reading through the comments. TMI, how many different coins are in your portfolio? I mentioned this before in another video. I may even have a list right here. I have a whole bunch of papers next to me. Look like a hoarder. I'm not. I don't know the exact number of them. I have Omise Go. I have some Funfair. I have Ethereum. I have some EOS. I have Bitcoin. I have, I think, some BAT. I have XRP. Where rest of the list? I don't have everything written down here. I think anywhere from, I know it sounds vague. Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm looking at the thing where I was looking for a list. I have Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, no Bitcoin Cash. I have some EOS. So that's about 4. I think I have a tiny bit of Stellar. I have some Litecoin. I think I have like 2 Tron. I have some Cardano. I think I maybe sold my IOTA, to be honest with you. I had a tiny bit of Neo. I sold off some of them. Have no Dash, have no NEM, have no Monero, have no Ethereum Classic. I have about 35,000 Tether. That's a joke. I have no Maker, have no Zcash, have no Beam. And I have some Omise Go. A lot of the other coins I just don't have because they just, I mean, it's kind of like there's too much. I can't spread myself out too thin. Someone's okay reading through it. Bitcoin going to 589 soon. That would be weird. Why this summertime for bull run? Because this is the idea is that everything is supposed to be launching by the end of Q1. So January, February, March, April, around that time frame, and therefore one could assume that it takes a bit more time for the market to kind of pick up. Even if you look at the other analysts, everyone's saying that they think that Q1 is going to be kind of a downer, and then as we move towards the summer, this is when prices will eventually pick up a tiny bit. SEC is slow either way. Government shutdown is an excuse. Yeah, I think so. It's absolutely insane how the crypto market was letting one thing stop the entire thing. Thank you very much, Sean NYC, for your donation. Just seeing this right now because I'm a slow scroller. Would you rather have 1 Bitcoin or 1,500 EOS? That is, I thought the other questions were evil. I mean, in logic, that's hard. I foresee a future where Bitcoin, because of all the institutional interest, everyone getting back into the cryptocurrency space, I definitely foresee a Bitcoin price of 20,000 again. I think 50,000 will be easy for us to kind of get to, breeze by. I also see a future, I don't know if it's going to be this year, next year, or a couple of years down the road, where Bitcoin ends up going to 100,000, maybe even 250,000. I can't, and I don't know the long-term prospects of what EOS's price is going to be. They're both very tempting, but I think to ease my own mind and for the sake of the 21 million argument, I would probably say I would take 1 Bitcoin over the 1,500 EOS, just because Bitcoin is Bitcoin. I gotta kind of say it that way. What about Stellar XLM? What do you want to know specifically about Stellar XLM? Someone said, what do you think of XRP? I've made at least 25, 30, 40, 50 videos talking about what I think about XRP. Someone said 2018 is unwinding. All the new pairs are getting ready to receive heavy traffic. Commas rule and decimals rule. Why not? I agree with you. 2 Tron only. Maybe it's like 10 Tron. I think I was airdropped them in some way. I don't remember how I got them. Tron is not my favorite project. I think there's definitely move for price movements when prices end up going back up. But it's not. I can't sit here and lie and say that it's one of my favorite projects. If I had $100, I would rather buy $100 worth of Bitcoin than $100 worth of Tron. Just my personal opinion. The Tron hype train got far too fast for me, and I couldn't really deal with it. Could we get your portfolio percentage of what you're holding? You should never ever tell anyone that. Ever, and I mean ever. That's not something I've seen people boasting about that before. I don't know if you guys remember 2017, those other crypto channels who were connected to BitConnect, and they were boasting about how much money they had. Don't ever do that. They were boasting that, yeah, I just got 21 Bitcoin. I have it. And I'm like, what world are you living in? Don't ever do that. Someone wrote Grin is the next Bitcoin. Could be. Any news on ADA? Nope, none at the moment. We had some like Shelly news and stuff like that a couple days ago, but nothing relatively new. Tron is the best blockchain in crypto. It might be, but like I said last summer, we got to a point, and this is why I think the falling prices of 2018 were so spectacular, is because every coin, and maybe every altcoin, from Bitcoin Cash further down, is on a relatively leveled playing field. I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP are kind of in their own, even like the market cap, there's like a huge gap over here. If Tron is indeed the best blockchain out there and is going to usurp Ethereum and destroy everything else, so be it. I need to see it. I need to, if Tron goes to the 4th spot, I will buy an enormous amount of Tron, and I will make videos about how great Tron is and how dumb I was before for not properly understanding it. But as of right now, we have EOS, we have Stellar, we have Litecoin, we have Tron, we have Bitcoin Cash SV, we have Cardano, we have IOTA, we have Dash, we have NEM, we have Neo, we have Maker, Zcash, Beam, Dogecoin. All these coins are talking about that they're better, faster, quicker, and more awesomer than Bitcoin. And until they prove it, this is where we have to, I need to see it happen. What do you think of paper wallets? I think they're kind of cool. Kind of ish. I had a friend who had his money on a paper wallet. And true story, not even joking. He got into crypto the same exact time that I did. I told him maybe not to put your stuff on a paper wallet. He did. Lost one of he had 2 wallets. He lost one of them and then gave the other one to his mother, hoping that in the future the prices and stuff would go up. And then she lost hers. Yeah. So paper wallets are not my thing. Someone said I got 5K Tron. Is that enough? Do you think it's enough? How much do you like? What is your goal? Like, what is the? And I ask this to everyone, collectively. What is your goal in cryptocurrency? Don't write out how much crypto you have. Tell me what the end game is for you. How much money you need, and I mean like a realistic number. Don't write $100 billion. Write a realistic number for you to cash out of crypto to feel completely comfortable. I need enough to buy a house. How much is the house? How much? Everyone has a number. Every single person has a number in their head. For me, it comes down to I need to be able to buy at least 5 studio apartments costing anywhere from 70 to 100,000 each a piece that are going to get me 500, 600, 700 a month from them. 7.5, there's 3,500 a month. I can easily live off of 3,500 a month. Just I'm always curious what everyone else thinks, because everyone, when you ask like how much, like if you have a certain amount, like if that's enough for you, look at future prices and think and try and ascertain where you think these prices are going to go, especially, like a realistic number. Like don't say like XRP, $45,000, like $10 XRP, $1,500, $2,000 Ethereum, $30,000, $45,000 Bitcoin. Like how much is enough for you? Like how much do you have to get to be like, okay, this is it, I'm out of the crypto game. Hi TMI, is Lightning Network a threat for XRP? No, they do completely different things. No. Someone said EOS works. XRP is his raison d'etre. Was that for me? Percentages aren't even relevant. Oh, that's mean. I can even read that out. That's so mean. Someone said Cardano over EOS. Maybe this is just it. We need to see that all these coins In lack of a better way of saying it, they were all flapping off at the mouth. In 2017 to 2018, they were, my coin is better than yours, my coin is faster, and they're all sitting in the exact same pool. They all have this like between $1 to $2 billion market cap, all talking about how much faster and cooler and more amazing they are. And only one of them is probably going to push past Ethereum. So yeah. Would you buy 11,000 XRP or 1 BTC? That's, oh my gosh. I don't know, because I see XRP going to $10. I can even see a $15 to $20 XRP during like a really good bull run and like during multiple banks using it. But I'm afraid I don't want to get into it. It's a very weird conundrum, because I don't want to get into a situation where, you have a, $30 XRP and you make 300,000 from that, the XRP you were holding, but Bitcoin is sitting at 480,000 or 600 something thousand. I mean, either way, they're both good bets. But since the other person gave me 1 BTC and you're also giving me one BTC, I'll also say 1 BTC. What do you think about Digibyte? I don't have any thoughts on Digibyte. Digibyte, Nano, where's the other coin? There's another one that sounds similar to it. No, not Chainlink. There's another coin that sounds very similar to Digibyte. I don't. These coins aren't on my radar, like not even slightly. Someone said 2.5 million Denta coin, I can pay my electric bill. TMI, do you know hollows? Someone asked me that same exact question earlier. Someone wrote, Tron is dog crap. I only have 1 Tron. Do you see XRP ever reaching $100? And I think logically, yes, I think it can. But we need like actual movement in the market. It's very difficult to give any type of prices on anything right now. Like it hit 360 before, 360 cents before, during the last bull run that we had. And this was before it became a base pair on like multiple exchanges. This is before banks and institutions were have announced that they were using it. Like when we had the last thing, we didn't have 18 institutions who were talking about that they were going to be using XRP for payment options. I think we'll eventually hit $15, $20 without a doubt, maybe even 25. It's difficult for me to say, like, realistically, if we're going to hit a $100 XRP, because that's a market cap in the trillions then. And at that point, it gets a little fuzzy. We need to, see actual usage, but I think it could happen. Someone screamed at me and said, talk about Hollow Chain. Waves does work, built a few dApps on it. Someone wrote X and D. I think that's a smiley face. Please, TMI, tell us the benefits of BitSV. You're asking the wrong person. Someone said to make $1 million. Yep. 100K. 20 million, 10 BTC, 5 million, 100,000, 500K, 5 million, 3 million. Yes. I mean, you can laugh all you want. Someone wrote to buy apartments and rent them out. I don't know what was funny about my comment. I believe in passive income. I like many of you also, especially if you're in your cryptocurrencies, your goal, my opinion, should not be buying an expensive car or a hot girlfriend. You should probably be looking into buying property or something that's going to continue to make you money every single month without you ever having to work again. That should be your end goal. $250,000, 5 million, 1 and 2 million, 700,000. Make 100,000, then invest in real estate. Yup. Thank you very much, James Jeffries, for your donation. TMI videos are great. I watch them all. Thanks you for your great insights. Do you have a favorite XRP wallet? At the moment, I've been using, I use the Nano Ledger, and I also try to use sometimes like other, I mean, it's very difficult. I wanted for a long time for, what's it called? I wanted the Ripple team to kind of make their own wallet. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the most secure place right now is probably the Ledger. Someone said 100K, $250,000. Yeah, so we're all kind of in relative agreement. I think 100K is like enough where like I start to think about cashing out of some of the coins, but ideally I think like $500,000 is like a pretty good starting point. 100K is not enough for real estate in New York City. I've heard it's not New York is kind of ridiculous. BTC equals 100,000. 10 million. My target is $1 million after accumulation. Then I am set. Smash likes. Lightning is the future. 589 XRP. 10K XRP. Still reading through the comments. What are the benefits there? I'm not going to talk about Bitcoin Cash SV. Bitcoin Cash SV, for those who are wondering why I never talk about Bitcoin Cash SV and Bitcoin Cash ABC, the more that I've gotten to understand why we have these coins, I don't care for them. They're forks of a coin that should have never had a fork. And in both instances, it's not even like it happened once. When Bitcoin Cash was born, Bitcoin's price slammed down because of that happening, because Bitcoin essentially has split in half. And then when Bitcoin Cash SV came about, Bitcoin's price also split in half once again. And it's kind of like these are, and I don't mean to sound Bitcoin maximalisty, but these are attacks on Bitcoin itself. These coins were created by people who say that they are Satoshi Nakamoto themselves, and that these are created because these are the true Bitcoin. If you truly believed in Bitcoin, my own personal opinion, you would simply create side chains on Bitcoin to kind of make it better, to make it faster, to make it cooler, to make it stronger. Like, you can logically build side chains on the side of Bitcoin that would make it fast and cool and ultimate and awesome and all this other stuff that people keep talking about. But they created these coins as cash grabs, and this is kind of what they are right now. This is why I don't talk about them. I think it's very detrimental to the cryptocurrency space to continuously create forks of Bitcoin. Bitcoin Diamond, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Green, Bitcoin Red. Yes, these are all real coins. It's kind of ridiculous, at least to me. I don't care for it. Like, I like the idea. Make your own cryptocurrency. If you believe in your heart that you can create a coin that's better than EOS, or that's better than Litecoin, that's better than so-and-so, create it. Don't fork these coins. Don't create your own version of it. Don't make an EOS so-and-so. Like who are the other people who made that scam coin that was called XRP Classic? Like, just stop it. Like, if you are smart enough to create your own coin that can usurp these coins, by all means, go for it. Competition is healthy. Let it ride, but stop forking Bitcoin because it has the name. Imagine if this coin was just called ABC Cash, how many people would have it? No one. If this coin was just called Satoshi's Vision, not a single person on earth would even know about this coin. It's because they have the name Bitcoin that this is the only reason why they're still in slightly within the running. Same thing with Bitcoin Gold. Who's using Bitcoin Gold? Who? It's completely ridiculous. Now you know. Now you understand why I don't talk about these coins, because it's so ridiculous. Like, we had the point before where Bitcoin's price was trending sideways at $6,000, and so every single analyst was like, "This is it. We've hit the bottom. We're about to shoot up." That same exact day, Bitcoin Cash SV came out and Bitcoin slammed down to $3,000. Not a coincidence. Like, not at all. Like, the price split in half when another coin was born from it. Ridiculous. Like, if you are going to, this is why I like Grin and Beam. You know, if you have the same, general future prospects for Bitcoin, and you think that you can do so and so and so, and you are going to create a hyper decentralized world, and you can cut down blockchain bloating, by all means, please go for it. Just don't use the name of another coin that's already existed. Like you aren't. Imagine you creating a company where you sell laptops, you sell microphones, and you call yourself Apple Cash, and people are like, why are you using the Apple name? Oh, because I think it sounds cool. Or like, you create like a Microsoft SV. People look at you like you're completely insane, like you're clearly just ripping off the name as a cash grab to try and get people to go to your coin, to your project. It's completely nuts. I can't stand it. Someone wrote Beam. Yeah. Right. Consensus matters. Sorry, Bitcoin haters. Everyone will probably cash out of XRP once Bitcoin is pumped. So, very interesting theory that I have myself going on, and what I think is actually going to happen. I told you guys in the first 2 months of 2018, as prices were going down, I said we were, in my opinion, we were going to enter this space where cryptocurrency kind of collapsed backwards. And I meant as far as like, I think we're going to enter a situation And it already remember last year when we had that news article that 1,000 cryptocurrencies had completely disappeared. They were just no longer there. Like the projects had died. The developers had completely left. What I think is going to end up happening is, and this is my personal opinion, this is not financial advice, is where I think the cryptocurrency market is going. When we get proper clarification of which coins the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, the German Stock Exchange, the Swiss Stock Exchange, the Jamaican Stock Exchange, the Gibraltar Exchange, and I think the other two that I'm not remembering at this moment, the exact coins that they are going to be listing, we're going to see heavy movement, in my opinion, very quick into these coins rapidly. Because these coins aren't going to be everyday coins anymore. They're not going to be these niche coins that were like, oh yeah, XRP sounds kind of cool. Yeah, I have some Ethereum. These are going to be the coins that are going to be listed on world stock markets. I've already told you before, it's going to be Bitcoin. It's probably going to be Ethereum. A lot of them are going to be listing XRP as well. One of the other ones announced that they were going to be listing security tokens or something like that. I don't know about any of the other coins. I can't tell you for certain. I think Litecoin maybe has a slight chance. This is one of the only reasons why I'm relatively slightly bullish on Litecoin, because I think it has a chance of being able to kind of push into this market as well. My opinion, where I think things are going to go. And part of the very interesting thing that's going to happen is that we're going to see a huge shift. A lot of these coins, maybe not in the top 50, but somewhere around here, are going to completely disappear. And I think if we have a bull run, 2019 to the rest of infinity, we're going to have a crypto market with only around 100 to maybe 150 coins. I think a lot of coins are going to completely start falling off as well. And I think that all that money is going to be pushed into a lot of the larger coins. And then at that point, this is when the new crypto 4.0 coins are going to come out. These, because it's believed that Cardano, Tron, IOTA, so and so are the 2.0 and or 3.0 coins. So eventually we're going to have other coins, that say they're better, they're quicker, they're faster. I can do so and so and so. And that's how the market is going to develop, at least in my opinion, because it's fairly obvious. I don't think that my opinion that there's going to be a future, or in 2019, maybe even not 2020, where we're going to see stock exchanges around the world, especially, now I'll mention why after, that they're going to be listing Bitcoin Cash SV, probably not Monero, probably not Dash, because these are private transaction coins. Zcash maybe, probably not really. They're not adding Beam, they're not adding Tezos, they're not adding Dogecoin to a world stock market. And one of the reasons why I think they're not going to add Bitcoin Cash SV is because a lot of the people who are major players in the cryptocurrency game, and I told you guys before when I was listening to the other podcasts, as big S at the end, the common consensus is from people who are running these hedge funds is that they're betting big on Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum. Every single time that there's a Bitcoin fork, they get really upset because it lowers the volume. I mean, the value of Bitcoin. The price keeps slamming down, and it's because of these other forks that are happening. I think they're going to be I think we're going to enter a world very soon, and I heard this before on a couple of other podcasts as well, where Bitcoin Cash, not financial advice, is also going to have very hard times in the future. Same exact thing with Bitcoin Cash SV, because the attention will be focused just on Bitcoin. You cannot list on a stock exchange Apple Cash, Apple Cash SV, Apple Cash XRP. It has to just be one focal point that everyone is going to focus on, because people getting into the cryptocurrency space already have been duped before by Roger Ver on Bitcoin.com. He changed the name of Bitcoin Cash on the website to simply Bitcoin, and changed the name of Bitcoin to Bitcoin Core, and people were buying Bitcoin Cash thinking that they were buying Bitcoin, and then they got really upset. You cannot have this confusion. You cannot have the same of two names. One of them is going to prevail, and as of right now, logically, looking at the market cap and looking at the attention that's being given to them, it's probably going to be Bitcoin over Bitcoin Cash, over Bitcoin Cash SV, and over Bitcoin Gold. Just how I feel about it. Just my opinion. Someone said EOS on a stock exchange. I think the EOS people are fairly versed on exactly what they need to do to be able to get adopted by institutions. And I would not be surprised if by the end of this year or sometime in 2020 that we end up hearing that they have some type of a collaboration with them. Will they be listed on the stock exchange? I don't know. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. But as of right now, I would not maybe hold your breath. Someone said, TMI, I can't donate live, but I promise you on the next bull run. Thank you very much. I appreciate even just the thought of helping me in my endeavors. Yeah. Any more questions? Anyone out there? Anyone have any questions for me? What are your thoughts on Beam? I like Beam. I don't like Beam as much as Grin. I think Grin has more of a Bitcoin-esque type feeling to it, especially with how it was launched. I feel like if the Beam team does continue to do well, I think Beam could be a major contender. But at the moment, like I said, it's far too new. It's far too new. I think that the hype is right, if that makes sense. There's a lot of hype around Beam and Grin, and I think if this continues, that they could have a potentially very nice future as time ends up going on. Because I don't think these projects will disappear, but I think they'll take their own paths, if that kind of makes any sense. Where is it? Hold on. Nope. Someone said Cardano do something, and I thought the price was moving. Someone said be careful with Pundi. They tried to pull a fast one by introducing another new coin. Yeah. Someone wrote roadmap. Someone said when you talk, what do you look at? The wall? Do you look outside? I actually look at the I look at the chat to make sure that I'm actually answering the question properly. Sometimes I stare off into the distance. You know, I look at the beach behind me and, you know, look at the nice things. Or I just look at the screen over here because it has all the prices and stuff like that. And sometimes I do realize that I do go off on a tangent. So I make sure that I bring myself back to reality, because sometimes I'm out there. Sometimes I just kind of go all over the place. Actually, it's Beam that has the fixed supply. Yeah, like there's only supposed to be a certain amount of Beam that will ever be mined. It says it's somewhere around here. This is why I get really annoyed. I think this is meant to be the max supply of Beam that will ever be out there, because you can mine the coin. I remember reading, I think I read their white paper, and also when I was reading about Mimblewimble, this was the number that I saw as their max supply. So the fact that they have it now as a circulating supply is just a little annoying. Someone wrote Unit E. Google that, just like Unit E. Yeah, I spoke about that 2 days ago. This is the coin that the people from, was it MIT, were talking about that they're creating, that's supposed to be 10,000 transactions per second, stop blockchain bloating, and so and so and so. And I mentioned before, I don't think it's actually a contender to Bitcoin, in my personal opinion. And my main reasoning was Unit E. First of all, the name is horrible. Like the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life. But we already have about 38,000 other coins that are quicker, faster, and stronger, and better, and more robust than Bitcoin and its blockchain. And none of them have even come close to taking over Bitcoin, save XRP 2017. But the fact is, we know that Bitcoin has 5 to 7 transactions per second. We know that EOS has 5,000. We know that Tron claims to be able to have 5 to 10,000. We know that XRP's ledger does 5,000. It says on the website that it does 50,000. So we know that they're quicker, better, faster, super rare coins than Bitcoin. And someone creating another coin, I think it's unnecessary. And then someone creating something called Unit E. There's probably not a point in the future where I'm going to walk into a store asking someone if they take Unity as a payment method. Can you do a video on price predictions for the top 25 list? Maybe. Actually write that down. I write horribly. I hope I'll be able to read that later. I was like chicken scratching it. Did you see Beam's new roadmap? No, I haven't seen it. Last I heard about Beam was their problem that they had with the wallet, and then kind of that was like 2-3 days ago. When Netflix accepts crypto, that will be insane. Yet this is why I'm waiting for Bakkt. I'm waiting to see exactly which companies and corporations are going to be using their platform, because the names, I mean, just even Starbucks and Microsoft accepting it is going to be completely insane. But if Netflix, I don't have a Netflix account, and I will tell you from the bottom of my heart, I would probably get a Netflix account if they accepted crypto, and not even kind of joking. Have you ever looked at Poet? Nope. People told me about Poet in 2017, 2018. Didn't look at it. It's never in the news. Yeah. What crypto app do you use for checking prices on your smartphone? I usually just open up the browser and type in live coin watch. I used to do CoinMarketCap. What do you think about MadeSafe? I don't think about MadeSafe at all. Samsung is doing what Serial Labs is trying to do, so I've heard. Again, Grin has no max supply. Yeah, Grin has no max supply, but Beam does. I think Grin is supposed to stay, I think, at 60. No, I think it's 1 Grin per second that's going to be mined over the course of a 3-year period. I don't remember the exact time frame, but and eventually it lowers, but there's always supposed to be a supply of Grin that will never stop. Thoughts on if XRP is used by central banks? Possibly. Something is definitely happening behind the scenes that we just don't know about, but I definitely think that there's more going on than we actually see, at least in my opinion. Samsung going full crypto. Sorry, the thing popped up again. Don't know why it keeps doing that. Any news on a date for Constantinople? Yes. As of right now, the Ethereum team said that is supposed to happen at the end of February. Whether it's actually going to happen, then we had 2017, and then we had 2018, and then we had November, and then we had December, and then we had January. Now they're saying the end of February. If we do get it, I think Ethereum will be doing very well. However, if they delay it again, gonna have to have a conversation with Ethereum. There are no BTC emojis. There should be. I think that would be kind of cool. We love your rant. I love ranting as well. It's so much stuff in my head. USD has no max supply. No, it does not. That's part of the problem. When will central banks adopt XRP? Ever? We know that banks are going to be adopting it. One can only assume if they have had discussions before with the Federal Reserve, that they are maybe in talks with someone. We also had news before that they were in talks with almost all the banks in India, so I assume that conversation has definitely come up over tea. Somebody was like, hey, you ever thought about using XRP in your daily operations? Who knows what the outcome was of that, but something is definitely happening behind the scenes. Someone wrote Beam over Grin. Maybe. $10 Cardano will never happen. Where's Cardano? Did I skip by it? Yeah, right here. Let's see. I think Cardano hit $1.20 before as its all-time high. If this ever ends up loading, slow computer. Where is it? All time. Look at that spike. That's absolutely insane. Where is it? Where is it? Can I hit it? Come on, man. Yeah, dollar says $1.12. I think it was $1.20. Yeah, there we go. 131 as its all-time high. I think a $5 Cardano is definitely possible. I think even the $10 not out of reach. But Cardano's another one of those coins that says that they can do everything, but we need them to do everything for them to be able to get that price. Yes, Unity is a version of Vault, a contender to BTC. Okay, we'll see in a year, because I have my own thoughts on that. Cardano $3. $3 ADA I can see. Yeah, totally. Yeah. If we hit it, like, you have to understand, like, these coins came out at a time where they were relatively new. This Cardano was not out for this. No, it wasn't. I don't think Cardano was it. Has that much time gone by? Maybe. The point is, Cardano has been added to a lot more places since then. I don't think no. I don't see a $3 ADA being out of the realm of possibility at all. Someone wrote hot token ontology. Tron is not a scam. Left to be seen. We have to actually see it doing something. Like, you listed faster coins, but only said claim to for Tron. They all claim to be faster. They all claim to be able to do these things. They all claim to be able to scale, and they can all do these things. We've had people before for EOS, one of my favorite tokens. They claim to be able to do 5,000 transactions per second. They claimed last summer that they can hit 10 to 20,000 transactions per second, but the fastest that they were able to get their blockchain to go was like 5,400 transactions, and that was because they were spamming the network with small transactions to see exactly how many that they could actually hold at once. But we haven't gotten to a point where any of these coins, none of them, we have not experienced Tron, EOS, Cardano, any of them through a hyper bull run where we saw Bitcoin having a $200,000 backed up transaction problem. When we get to that level again, we're going to test these blockchains to see if they can actually handle these numbers. We're going to see if Cardano and Tron can do the things that they claim to do. Same exact thing with EOS. I didn't mean to single out Tron as far as the claim thing. They're all in it right now. You can test these things on your own and say that they're going to have these movements, but we need to see that they can actually do them. And I have a strong feeling that out of a couple of these coins who claim that they're faster, stronger, and better, that we're going to see a lot of platforms kind of collapse because they won't be able to handle it. Just my opinion. Scrolling down, whoa, there's a lot. Oh my gosh, I have a lot to scroll down to. Apollo's the fastest. Holochain up 83%. If we get to that level again, I think we will. I think there's too much interest in the market from institutional investors. Like I think it would be insanely weird if we had stock exchanges from around the world getting into cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin never passed by $5,000. We passed $20,000 with just normal people and a super massive amount of hype and FOMO. If we don't pass $20,000 with major world stock exchanges they house billions, if not trillions of dollars worth of assets flowing through them, then something is wrong with numbers. And then math itself is completely off. Alrighty, everyone. I'm a little hungry. It's way past dinner time. I hope you all enjoyed. I definitely did. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I think I've pretty much answered all the questions that we have out there. Pizza. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to give that a response. I think I'm actually going to have pizza. A little hungry, and pizza is kind of the quickest thing. Don't really have to think about it. It's kind of on food autopilot. I thank you all again for watching and or listening. As always, a very, 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 very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. They are Gil Boa Snake and Ryan Sanford. Thank you very, very much for your generosity. I appreciate it more than you could possibly begin to imagine. You're all awesome. Have a good night. Have a good morning. Have a good evening. And I will talk to you in the daily video tomorrow, unless I, for some reason, decide to sleep in, which I won't. I'm too paranoid. I have to make videos every single day. It's very weird, like it's stuck in my head. Anyway, without me continuing to blabber on, thank you all once again. And I will EOS just pass Bitcoin Cash. And I will talk to you all soon. See you.